Well, I mean, that's the only thing that can make sense for me, because if I drop the idea of trying to make money, then, I mean, that's all it can lead me to.
But who said drop the idea of making money? It said drop the idea of trying to be successful. Hey, Sim, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hello, Jesse. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I have two questions. One regarding the silent prayer, and one regarding success and ambitions. So I've heard you say that, we need to drop all of our ideas and plans and completely get rid of thoughts in order to be free, correct?
Yes.
Now, does this mean that I can't want a better life for myself materialistically? Because if I'm miserable, right, I would at least like to be comfortably miserable, because I don't want to be a miserable bum. You know what I mean?
And what made you think you would be a miserable bum if you dropped the idea of success and ambition and all that?
Well, I mean, that's the only thing that can make sense for me, because if I drop the idea of trying to make money, then, I mean, that's all it can lead me to.
But who said drop the idea of making money? It said drop the idea of trying to be successful.
Well, that's the thing, right? Anytime I hear that I have to drop all of my thoughts and ideas, it kind of makes me go towards that too, because this is also one of my thoughts, correct? And I want a better life, not only for myself, but also for my parents as well.
And why is that?
Well, I guess it's just a desire that I have, because they've sacrificed so much for me.
They were supposed to. They were your parents. They were supposed to provide for you.
Yeah. And
it wasn't a favor,
right?
I'm sorry?
I completely get that, right?
Yeah.
And this goes back to the thing of, if, we are in this fallen state, then I would at least like to live a comfortable life and be in this fallen state, so that
can't you do that?
I don't really have to worry.
Can't you do that without trying to be successful? Can't you do that without having the idea of success?
Can I?
I'm asking you, can you do that without having the idea of success?
I would have to say yeah.
So then why you need to have the idea of success when all you have to do is get up and go to work and have a life?
So when you say that, like, drop all your ideas and plans, that doesn't mean, like, stop working towards a better life, correct?
What is a better life?
Better life? I mean, I don't know, like, sure, having a house is nice, right? But then the question becomes, do I want a one-bedroom house, and am I happy with that? Or do I want, like, a bigger house, right?
Right. But let's say that you never thought of, do I want a bigger house or do I want a one-bedroom? And just get you a house. Wouldn't you be happy that way?
I mean, I don't know. I really don't know.
And let's say that you wanted to buy a house. You get a job and just have a job and just go to work and do your job and make money and invest it without having ideas of success. Wouldn't that be easier for you? Because success, what does success mean? How would you know when you're successful?
Right, and I guess you could say success is a very tailored definition for each individual, because, success comes in a lot of ways.
But how would you know when you're successful if you don't compare it to someone or something else? Why compare? Why not just live your life?
So I can do all of this, like make money, whatever, but all I have to do is not get, I guess you could say, identified with the fact that I want to make money?
Absolutely. Don't compare it to anyone. Don't try to You got to, in order to be successful, you got to think of something as not successful, right? But if you don't have this idea of success on your mind, you would not be thinking of not being successful, and just live your life and have an amazing life without being all ambitious and jealous and envious and competing with anyone. His phone dropped. Sim, your phone dropped. Let go of all these ideas and just live your life. You've been taught wrong. You can buy a house without thinking about being successful. And however many bedrooms it has, you wouldn't feel like a failure. Oh, Sim is back real fast. Oh, good. Sim.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. Just imagine. I'm sorry?
I said my call failed, so I couldn't hear what you said.
I said that why not get up and go to work and make your money and buy your house and save some money and do what you do without thinking the word success or comparing yourself to others. Wouldn't that be easier and amazing if you're not in competition or comparing yourself to anyone else about anything?
Yeah, and it would be, right? But then I'm like, okay, if I want to experience new things, then that requires more resources, right? Resources meaning money. Like if I want to explore the Bahamas, then I have to, get the money for the hotel and things like that.
And how old are you?
Right now I'm 19.
And so you can do that without comparing. You have a job, and the job helps you make money, and you do those things in the physical world. But you still don't have to compare. Make some money, go to the Bahamas, have fun, and don't try to have fun based on the way someone else had fun or compare yourself to it. It'll be an easy life for you, a natural life.
Because, even when I look at you, right? You have studios, you have, the place where you hold church. I'm sure you wanted a nice place for the people to be in for church, correct?
But I don't compare myself to anyone else. I don't try to be like, I'm not in competition with anyone. I'm just living my life and doing what's in front of me.
Okay. So it's fine as long as you don't compare.
Right.
Correct?
If you get rid of the idea, I'm going to be successful or I'm going to be ambitious, all you're doing is putting a strain on your life, playing God, trying to make things happen. And you may get those things, but you'll be miserable on the inside. But if you just live your life without ideas like that, you'll be fine.
And that doesn't mean that I'm necessarily completely going to drop the idea of making money, right?
No, you get up and go to work. You need money to function on this earth.
Okay.
But just don't compare yourself to anyone else. If John Doe has a little bit more money than you, just wish John Doe well, but don't want to be like John Doe. Don't compare your money to his money, and it'll make you feel like you're less.
Yeah, because that makes a lot more sense. And the second question I have is, during the silent prayer, right?
Yes.
You say to watch our thoughts.
Right.
And even when you say that, right? When I'm not talking, that voice in my head, I say to myself, okay, I'm going to watch my thoughts. And there's like a disconnect because who is watching the thoughts? Is it the voice that's in my head, or do I have to watch that voice, if that makes sense?
Repeat that for me again. Repeat that question.
So during the silent prayer, right, we're supposed to watch our thoughts.
Right.
And are we watching that voice in our head? Or, because that voice in our head is, like, I can talk in my head, right? Is that the voice we're watching?
Yes.
Or, because I always get confused with that.
The real you is watching and not you. You're not the voice in your head. You're not the thoughts that come from the voice in your head. And you're not the emotion that come from the thoughts and the voice in your head. And if you just watch that, the real you is watching and not you, and you will overcome the not you because you would no longer identify with the not you.
Because lately, I mean, as soon as I heard about the silent prayer, I did it. And I've been doing it for about a week and a half. And I've noticed that even when I get into conflict with my family, when it's happening, I step out of myself, you can say, like out of my body. I'm just using this as an example. I step out of my body and I try to understand what is happening. And when I detach myself, it kind of gives me a better understanding. And the thoughts that I would have if I wasn't so aware would overwhelm me, but they don't do that anymore.
That's beautiful. And you're supposed to overcome those thoughts. If you don't, you're going to have the same stressful, fearful, scared life that every adult and child have as long as they live in those thoughts, believing that they are the thoughts. You're not the thoughts. And when you step out of them and just observe them, you're now living real life with no stress, no worries, no comparison, no envy, no jealousy, no nothing, no fear. You're just living your life. And when you do argue with your parents, it wouldn't be a big deal because they'll be arguing by themselves. You wouldn't argue back with them. You wouldn't fight with the devil.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah, because, I mean, I don't know. I was just kind of stuck in this dilemma because when I hear people say that you have to drop your ideas, drop your ego, I'm like, well, I don't want to be a bum, right? Like, I don't want to go on the street.
No, you can work a job, and I would encourage you to work. You should work and take care of yourself. You need a job, you need money, you need a house, or at least somewhere to live, but you can have all that without trying to be successful or have the idea of an ambitious person. Don't let anyone put that on you. It's a heavy load to try to be successful or be ambitious. It's all ego. And it says that you don't trust that life will work for you.
Right, because, I mean, you are doing great, right? So you are living proof that going full feet, jumping into the water fully, a.k.a., getting out of this fallen state, is good and beneficial. Like, it can't hurt you because, I mean, you're well off. And I guess I just have to trust the path more, right?
Yeah, stay with the silent prayer. Just watch, get up and get a job and go to work. And when you get paid, save 10% of your money. I'm telling you what I did. Save 10% of your money every time you get paid. And then pay your bills and your rent, buy some gas, a little food, and opportunity will naturally come where you can invest, buy yourself a house, or one thing will lead to another. You don't have to be in competition with anyone. You don't have to be ambitious. You were not created to be ambitious. You were created to live. And that's all you have to do. Life is already laid out. You don't have to make it happen. You just have to live in it. Instead of living in this false idea of success and ambitions. And people who are doing that are angry and they have fear. They're stressed out. They worry. And enough is never enough for them.
Right.
All right?
So,
are you working now?
What was that?
You have a job now?
Yeah, I have a job, and then I also have an online business.
Are you still living with your parents?
Yeah, I'm still with my parents.
And you're 19?
Yeah.
Why don't you get your own place?
Honestly, I don't have enough money right now because I have to. Well, I pay my parents for rent.
Oh, good. Okay, you're fine then. As long as you're paying something, you're not staying there free, you'll be fine. You're on your way. Take it one day at a time. Don't compare yourself. Stay with the silent prayer and at least you're paying them to stay there. You're not living on them and they're taking care of you. You're doing the right thing. Stay with it, all right?
All right. So, I mean, I can do the silent prayer to Ferrari, right? Nothing wrong with that, right?
That's right. Just don't get your identity from the Ferrari.
Right.
And nothing wrong with having a Ferrari. There's nothing wrong with having a 1-bedroom home or 10-bedroom home. There's nothing wrong with that. Just don't get your identity from anything. Enjoy it, but don't get a sense of being important or an identity from it.
Like, don't make my whole personality out of it, right?
100%. That's right.
Okay.
Are you from India?
Yeah, I was born there, but right now I'm in America.
Right on. So, yeah, you can enjoy those things, but don't get a sense of identity from them at all.
Okay.
You should have the take it or leave it. You can take it or you can leave it. If you have it, you enjoy it. If you don't have it, you still enjoy life. You're still fine.
Okay. I mean, that takes a weight off my shoulder because it makes me, I guess you could say, a bit satisfied that, hey, if I continue on this silent prayer path, you know, I don't necessarily have to drop the idea of being wealthy.
Right.
But first I have to be wealthy inside in order to enjoy the external wealth. Right
on. Well said. Well said. Everything starts from within first.